Okay guys, hey, this is Larry with My Florida Wildlife. I had a friend ask me to shoot a quick video on my techniques for the the primitive hand drill fire. I live in Southwest Florida, so I have quite quite a bit of things I can use. But as far as I know, the plants that I use to do it are found all over the eastern side of the United States. The hearth board that I use is Carolina willow, which is considered a trash plant. Grows along water, stuff like that, but you do have to let it dry. Willow has plenty of uses. A lot of people typically use this with a similar wood spindle for the bow drill. And I too have used this for the bow drill as well. Willow is my go-to wood for that. You got aspirin in the leaves. You got cordage from the inner bark. It's a good plant to know. So get to know your local willows. As far as the spindle, I use dog fennel. You can use cattail. Some people have used yucca. Yucca out west, but yucca out west you just use it on itself. Once it dries, of course. As you can see, these little, the little dotted areas all over it. It's got little pieces that stick out at the nodes. So once you dry it, go ahead and clean that stuff off. Otherwise, they can tear up your hands pretty good. I'm going to get started. I'll start out making the notch and show the technique I use to get it going, and I just use the multi-tool. I think the multi-tool is excellent for making notches, and it makes them much faster. And I'll just use a piece of this mulch that flooded across my sidewalk here with all the rain just to catch the coal. So let's get it rolling. This is just to get the hole started. And what I'm doing is just cleaning off the edge here. You kind of get the idea, and then you just get that hole big enough where the two of them can meet together. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to form the union between them. Just kind of hold it down. You're not really trying to start the fire yet. What you're doing is you're just getting it to match together. So just slight downward pressure, but the main thing, of course, you want to make sure that you're going straight up and down. You don't want to kind of wobble all over the place, so you want to get as straight a stick as you possibly can. But really, all I'm doing is just, putting downward pressure to get the whole joined together. Smoke's no biggie. You may see smoke, but really you're just doing what's called the burn-in. You got a little bit of smoke going on there, but you got a pretty good union between the two. Once you're comfortable with the fact that, the hole's not going to go anywhere, So you see it good there. So what I'll do now is I'll get the multi-tool back, and I'll go to the saw side of the multi-tool, and then I just kind of line it up and figure about half the size this way. And you know, I could always reuse that hole too. You know, I have a tendency to use fairly thick hearth boards for the hand drill, just because I think, you know, if you get a good notch, then, you know, that second time you go to use the, you know, I could go back if I wanted to, instead of starting over to show you, I could have reused this hole, and I still have plenty of, you know, board there to get another coal. So it's kind of, you know, conserving the resources, because once you know you can get a coal, then you'll be good to go again with another. So it just kind of ups your ante, so to speak. So you can kind of guarantee yourself another coal. Now I'm not going to blow it into flame, because you guys have seen that 1,000 times. You know, that's, I guess, for another day. So, and I'm just cutting the notch here in. I don't put any of the fancy, you know, the stuff underneath or anything like that. I just do the straight hole. So kind of get yourself most of the way through there. And there's your notch. Okay. Now, the whole idea of this is you want this warmed up first. So if you start out cranking down on this thing really hard, what's going to happen is you're going to glaze over the end of your spindle. And when you glaze over it, it's just going to be, it's like you're polishing it, so it's not going to have as much friction. So what you want to do is you want to get it warmed up first. We'll go ahead and put this under here to catch any dust. But as you see, as it starts to warm up and starts to smoke, then I'm going to put the downward pressure on, and you'll see this start to fill up with a black coal. And then eventually that coal will fall out and it'll start smoking on its own. Let's get it set up here. Get it set down. And I'm just going to start warming it up. You know, I'm not going super fast. I'm just putting pressure down in there, getting myself seated in there real good. Just warming it up. You know, you're getting it warmed up. You're starting to see the dust form in the hole there in the notch. Starting to get some good smoke coming out of it. And what you're looking for is you're looking for a dark powder. If you've got brown powder coming out of this thing, then you know you're not putting enough pressure on it. And once you start getting that smoke roll up it, and you start putting more downward pressure on it, and you get that thing smoking real good. You get that thing up there full and get smoking real good. And you got your coal. Now, once your coal's going, you can let it breathe for a little bit. You know, let the coal form. You don't need to rush this. You know, I mean, I have perfect weather for this right now. You know, it's nice and sunny out. Of course, it's been raining for the last couple of days. Oh, knocked it over there. It's still okay. We'll get it back up on the wood. So, you know, basically, that's your coal. So, and it's, you know, it just takes, you know, you'll take the practice. Let's get all this stuff together here. So that's the ultimate goal, is you want to get, hey. How you doing? So once you get the coal going, then, you know, transfer it over to your bird's nest and continue on with that. But, you know, it doesn't take a lot, you know, I think it takes some building up of the hands, of course. You'll get blisters, they'll pop, you know, it hurts, but once you get the technique down, get the wood good and smooth, the less, you know, the less little notches and stuff you have to contend with on your spindle, the better off it's going to be. Alright, so this is Larry again with My Florida Wildlife. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, shoot me a message or shoot me a comment and let me know. Take care.